Okay, so I'm going to be demonstrating how to set up your editor so that Talon knows what the language of the file you are editing is. So first, let's talk a little bit about how Talon recognizes what language mode you're in. So here is talon.talon. This is the Talon file for editing Talon files. And at the block, you can see this is the query that says when this file is active. And it's two parts. It's either active if the mode is user.talon, if the user.talon mode is active, or if the command mode is active and this weird thing code.language is Talon. So these two things are useful for different purposes. So this one, mode user.talon, this is something you can toggle explicitly by running a command. So here's the file that contains these commands for me, language modes.talon. I think it's slightly different in base knausj. But for example, I can say language force Talon, and it will put me into the user.talon mode until I say language clear. So this is a way of getting it to think you're in a Talon file no matter where you are. So let's visit something that's not a Talon file. Right. And an example of something I can say in a Talon file is I can say action block. And you'll notice that if I say action block currently, it'll probably do nothing. Talon wake. Cut everything. Action block. Right, so it didn't recognize that. It thought I said bat. So that's not quite helpful. But now let's try saying force language Talon. Force language Talon. Language force Talon. Action block. Right, see, I forgot the syntax of my own command. But yeah, it's now thinks I'm editing a Talon file until I say, let's go look at that, language clear. So action block, language clear, action block, action block. Right. So if you have no other option, this is one way of getting Talon to recognize what language you're using. You tell it, and then once you're done, you tell it language clear. Okay, but suppose we wanted to like figure out magically that we're in a Talon file. So the way it does that is using this function. So over here, it says, you know, if you're in command mode and code.language is Talon, well, this is the function that determines what code.language is, right? And what it does is it uses various actions. In particular, it looks at win.fileext and win.filename, and it tries to use the extension of the file you're currently editing to figure out, you know, what language you're in, right? So it tries to grab the file extension, and then it looks for it in extension lang map. And you can see here, this is the map of all of the file extensions Talon knows about. So here's the line that tells it that a Talon file is a Talon file. Okay, but how does it know what the file extension or file name are? Well, these are actions, and you can override them. If you look at the, let's take a look, and let's try finding where file name is implemented. looks like it's in, right. So it's implemented in various specific apps. And it's, so let's say that we look at how it's implemented in apps Eclipse, eclipse.py. Or, oops, eclipse.py. So this was on what, line 21. Go 21, center top. So you'll see that it looks at the window title. And then it tries to grab the file name from the window title, right? And this is usually the way it works, right? You have to tell Talon for your editor how to get the file name, and usually you have it look at the window title, which is something Talon already knows how to do. So if I look at emacs.py, which is where I have all my Emacs stuff, I use Emacs, I have this piece of wiring, right? And for me, the title of my window is literally just the file name. So file name is very easy to implement. You get the window title and you return it. Getting the file extension just splits it. So these are the functions. Either one of these would work actually. These are the functions that tell Talon, okay, if I am in Emacs, here's how you get the file name. And from the file name, Talon knows how to get the mode you're in. So basically, that's how that works. And just to show that that's how that works, let's go and look at talon.talon. So now I'm in a Talon file, which means that I should be able to say action block, action block. And as you can see, it worked. Let's now rejigger the file extension method to return some garbage. And I'm actually not sure which of these will work, so let's make both of them return garbage. So now it probably won't recognize that I'm in a Talon file. Action block, action block. So yeah, as you can see, it's no longer recognizing it. So these are the functions that it's actually calling. So if you want to make Talon recognize what kind of file you're editing, what you need to do is set up a context. So this context is defined over here, right? And for me, this matches when I'm in Emacs. You set up a context that matches when you're in your editor of choice. And then you write some code like this, which overrides the win.filename and win.fileExt actions. In fact, overriding either one of them should be fine. I don't know why I override both of them. And then it will figure out from the file name what kind of file you're editing. All right, that's all.